that you do want to do early on before you actually get into an engagement is establish some boundaries. What is acceptable, what is not, what are our rules of engagement, things that are permissible, things that are not permissible. So, for example, if a client asks to meet in a coffee shop for a coaching session, do you think it's a good idea or it's not a good idea?
No, it's not.
Not a good idea.
No.
And why not?
Because there will be people around, so he might feel a bit intimidated to talk openly about his problem. He might not be comfortable, very unlikely, because he's coming for coaching.
And we cannot discuss personal things, right?
You may not be able to discuss sensitive things. Even if the client is having any kind of an exploratory conversation, there will be constant distractions, right? Other people coming, going, and exiting. You've got to sit in a coffee shop, so that's why you've got to order something. Somebody's coming to take your order, ask if you want more water, if you want more something else, getting your check. Just too many distractions for the client to focus and have a thinking conversation. Okay, so it's important. So some of these things are hygiene. Mentally also, what's the space that they are in? Are they able to define, label emotionally where they are, what kind of a day they've had? Are they able to carve out the time, clear their space mentally, clear their space physically, be in a place that is conducive to having a deep conversation? I will often tell clients, even if I'm doing a virtual conversation, I'm often going to tell client, there's my phone, I'm putting it away. It's switched off, it's gone. I don't want to get distracted while we talk. Okay. So I'm just telling a client that, look, my phone is distracting. I'm putting it away because this conversation is important. It's okay to ask the client, would you like to do the same? Okay. It's perfectly okay to say that coffee shop is a bad idea because we are at a place where it's going to be critical conversations. You're going to be exploring something that is so meaningful and so significant. I wouldn't want us to be distracted. I would want us both to be 100% present in the conversation. Otherwise, reasonably straightforward. It's also okay at this point in time when you're talking about setting boundaries in terms of your availability, your timing. I would prefer if you send me a mail, or I would prefer if you send me a WhatsApp. I always respond to my WhatsApp messages. If you call, I may or may not be able to respond. So it's perfectly okay to say that, please don't expect that any time of the day, if you call me, I'm going to be able to take your call and talk to you. I'll sometimes tell my clients that, feel free to call me. Don't worry if I'm not able to take your call. If depending, I'm often on Zoom sessions, and if I'm not able to take your call, it just means I'm in the middle of something else. And as soon as I can get to it, I will come back to you. So I tell them that, okay, it's not that I don't want you to call me, but don't expect that anytime you reach out, I should be available. That may not be possible for me. So setting your own boundaries. One of the things we all often struggle with is when and how to say no. Okay. So first of all, knowing our own comfort, what am I flexible on? Where am I able to flex? Where am I not able to flex? Also, what kind of coaching is this? Is this something that I'm engaging in professionally? Am I doing a social cause? Am I doing some pro bono work? Am I doing some peer coaching? So what kind of a coaching contract do I need here? Okay. And being respectful of time. I am willing to commit time upfront into an initiative that is going to be of meaning and significance for you to shift things forward in your life. The least I expect, even if you're a client, the least I expect is you commit the same. So I will be respectful of your time, but please also be respectful of my time. So this is a good place to say that, if you want to cancel your session, you please need to inform me 72 hours, 48 hours in advance. You please let me know at least a couple of days so that I can release that time on my calendar. If you don't do that, I'm still going to go ahead and charge you, because I would have blocked time on my calendar. I wouldn't have made any other commitment. Okay? It's perfectly okay to say that. So figure out what your boundaries are and be very direct, be candid, be respectful, but open in communicating that, look, this is what's going to, this is how I engage. These are my rules of engagement in a coaching relationship. Okay. Learn to say no, because there are clients you will find who will have unreasonable demands. I had a client who kept referring other clients, and everybody that he referred was supposed to be a pro bono client. And the first one was okay for an hour or so. The second one was okay for an hour, and then the third one, I just had to say no. He can't keep coming. He can't keep sending people, because he wants to rescue people, and he wants to not do anything else except say, hey, you know what? I know a coach. She was fantastic. She really helped me out. Just have a chat with her. He's not losing anything by saying that, right? But I got to say no. And then eventually I had to tell him that, listen, we had a coaching engagement that was of a particular design, and this was our contract. And if you are referring somebody to me, you've got to understand that I have to invest time, and I'm going to have to demand some compensation for the time that I'm investing. And after that, I got no references from that particular client. Okay, so there are times when clients will be unreasonable. There are times when clients will impinge you. They will try to push you even within the norms of the coaching conversations. So but what do you think? No, but you are my coach. How has your experience been? What do you see other people doing? No, you have so many people you must be working with. What do they do? What would you have done? So clients will push you, and you have to bring it back to say that, okay, I'm coaching you. If you like my suggestion, I'm very happy to share my experience with you at a later point in time. But what this conversation is about you, and it's about exploring your thinking, and what do you think is the best way to go forward. So there are times when you have to bring them back and say, okay, this is not how coaching works, and be okay, be comfortable doing that. Okay, because you know what a coach does and what works in a coaching session. The client doesn't know that, and it's okay to let them know.